This is Ben Keys, and you're listening to the Crowject podcast.
Here's Gill. Oh, look, this might go through. It could be the ugliest goal we've ever seen. Oh, yeah, it's magnificent. That's not in the textbook, but it's his third.
To win straight out 51. Kicks from 45. It starts right, but it's coming down. The Crows win. It's a miracle.
Walker needs to kick accurately, and he has. Oh, what a lift of the excitement machine, McLeod. Left foot goal. Oh, don't tell me. He's a superstar. Don't tell me. Bounces straight up.
Welcome aboard to Crowject episode Choo 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 here, and we are sponsored by Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini and Trojan Aluminium. Thank you very much for being on board. Tonight we will run over the AFLW game against the Bombers, the SANFL shafting against Sturt, listeners' feedback, Port getting done by the mighty big sound, trade rumours and more. Of course, it's not just me here tonight. To my left, I've got Lachie. How you going?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. What a great weekend to come back.
Oh, no.
And one man who I know is very glad to be here to discuss everything Port Adelaide. Pete, how you going?
I am here in spirit, but the voice is waning.
A big night on Saturday.
And for those on video, show them the big G.
The big G.
Player issue, is that one? Or?
No, this was a marketplace special on Thursday afternoon for $40, which was nice.
All right.
So we will jump straight into, the number one club in the state. There's no doubting about that. The Adelaide Crows.
Don't tell Twitter that.
Don't tell Twitter that because, a few comments might be thrown at you. The AFLW, the girls, got over the Essendon Bombers to give them their first loss of the season with a 47-point win at Unley Oval on Saturday in front of 2,238 people. Played a very good game. Lachie, what was the final score?
Adelaide 12-9-81 defeated Essendon 5-4-34.
Indeed.
Absolute shellacking.
Yeah.
After quarter time, from what I can see,
Pretty
and
much.
remembering,
Yeah, we struggled a little bit in the second and third quarter to convert on the shots that we were having. We were dominating and just not putting them away. But in the end, Essendon just didn't really give a yelp, to be perfectly honest.
They did say that one of their players was on the footy show on Sunday, and she was saying that Adelaide we've been around since 2017. This is their second season. So
the excuses flowed, hey?
Well, they did.
Is that what Port say as well for their...
No, they say we've been around for 150 years.
Oh, that's
and
right.
we're still not good.
But we're just going to ignore the women's league for a little while.
We were busy looking at pandas and stuff over in China.
We did the tour of the Great Wall and all that sort of work.
We spent flights are expensive,
You know what the best part was? During that time, we were sponsored by China Southern.
Yeah, we were.
Great airline. I think. Are they still around? Anyway.
Maybe not.
They had a cool theme song they used to play.
They did.
Yeah. With the show me how to fly.
And how awkward were the ads with Rory and Tex? They were just like, we love traveling business class with China Southern. Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, fantastic. We just a really dominant performance. Ponza kicked 3 goals. No goals from the centre circle this week, so a bit of a lift next week from you, please, Danielle. Abby Ballard kicked 2. Gould kicked 2. Thank you very much to Benny and the Bets getting up for the first time in a long time. Hatchard with 2, Charlton with 1, Waterhouse with 1, and Randall with 1. For Essendon, Bonnie Toogood in her 50th game kicked 2. Prasparkas
She's
kicked
pretty
2.
good, yeah.
She is not too good, but she's pretty good. And Scott kicked 1. Now, I think, was it Jess Wushner as well playing her 50th game, I believe?
Yeah, that's right. And was it? It wasn't Noffy. It was who got to 50 games just before her by like 6 minutes or something like that, or 50 wins. I saw that on
might have been Chelsea.
Sir Swamp Thing. Yeah, I think it was.
It was Noffy. No, it was Noffy, I think.
Peter got something right the first go.
Yeah.
Bang! I think it was.
But yeah, before the game, the Essendon cheer squad had a tiny little crepe paper banner. It was a little bit sad watching them run out. That was like too good. Wishing 50 games. Like it was
Campbell don't.
This Crom flag that we've got over the desk at the moment is bigger than the banner that they had for them, and it was a little bit grim. But congratulations to those two on 50 games.
So here's the stat itself. Ebony Marinoff, and this is from Sir Swamp Thing, aka Layden. He can't be here right now. He's currently doing some pivot tables or something. Ebony Marinoff, the first person to play in 50 wins in AFLW games, beats Paxi Paxman to the milestone by 6 minutes and 21 seconds.
That's right, because Cream was laughing at her name. That's right. That's where I remember seeing that stat.
That's right, yeah. When did she change it to Paxi?
I think beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And only one reply from Lions Nuff, at Lions Nuff.
Okay.
Who the fuck is Paxi Paxman? Exotic ass name. Thank you. Maybe I shouldn't have read that out. We'll just flag that. Anyway, Ben.
Yeah, so probably the best players for us would have been Hatchard. She dominated in the middle and obviously kicked her 2 goals as well. Ponta was very dominant up forward and probably could have kicked a few more goals, a little bit wayward at times. Noffy was Noffy in the middle. Jess Allen was good in the ruck, and Tia Charlton was sort of everywhere.
She really was.
Tia's a very underrated player.
She is.
Very underrated.
She was our first round draft pick a couple of years ago, wasn't she, out of Glenelg?
I think so,
say?
yeah. And she, we obviously have stars in the middle with Noffy and Hatchie, and Randall goes in there, Ponta goes in there, but Tia's always in there, and no one ever sort of thinks about it. But she does well every week. Just does a job.
Just very calm with the ball as well.
Yeah.
She very often finds a target, and no wayward kicking, which is good.
I mean, if we could just go through some of the stats as well. We've got Hatchie, who had 14 contested possessions, 2 goals, 1, 27 total disposals as well, 2 inside 50s, and 9 intercept possessions. Sorry, no, I got that one wrong. No, she's a gut.
Cheers. Simple as that.
Yeah, there's literally,
There's just no other way to put it.
That's
It really
that's
is.
just how it is.
This is great stuff. Now, we did have news that Stevie Lee Thompson hurt her back, I believe.
Now, this is one of the all-timers from the Crows. Phil Harper has just gone out of his way to really just nail the news on this one, because if we look at this one, it is just phenomenal. So, and I'll read directly from the report. The person who wrote it, his name is Null, whoever that is. Adelaide head of women's football, Phil Harper, has provided the following update on utility Stevie Lee Thompson. Quote, Stevie hurt her back in the 4th quarter and was in a fair bit of discomfort, Harper said. Quote again, we aren't quite sure yet what the extent is, so she will get scans and be assessed.
Why do they even bother with those sort of things? Why do they bother? Just say well,
Don't know.
we don't have the report yet. The thing happened 10 minutes ago. Like that one with Paul Seidman a few years ago against Geelong, and they're like,
right.
oh yeah, Paul Seidman hurt his knee. Oh really? Like,
He
not that we all
was,
saw that.
he was stretched off the ground, but
I mean, Sean Craig Murphy at the start of the year.
I mean, come on.
I didn't steal his notes, but we both thought the same thing about the way Darren Burgess does his updates, exactly like that. Yep, they heard something. We're going to find out about it.
Like, why can't everyone just go, yeah, well, clearly we don't have scans available right now. Like, what do they want us to say?
Yeah, it's like calling a ward trying to get an update on a family member.
It's like writing exactly what happened and going, and with it being breaking news. And it's like,
Well, at least it's not breaking. I mean,
well, we don't know yet. The scans haven't.
well,
oh god, sorry, that was amazing. Continue, Ben.
So, outside of that, we spoke about Teal Charlton having a fantastic game. Her inside 50s were elite, mate, as we read directly off the run sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Abby Ballard kicked 2 goals within a 4-minute period, got me some TV time after her second goal, which was good. So she was everywhere.
Yeah.
Crom Scarf, another appearance, a big day on Saturday for the Crom Scarves.
That was beautiful.
But she was very, very good up forward, took a couple of good marks, was good. And Anne Hatchard had a Goal of the Year nomination for her goal in the second quarter. I
Yeah,
want
from
to
memory,
say
it was
it
around the
was.
second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that lady can do everything.
Literally.
It's phenomenal.
Actually, no, it was late in the last. It was just before the end of the game.
you had the right end.
I can, yeah.
I knew it was going to the left of your radio dial, but Noffy took the mark, didn't take the mark. Yeah, she kicked a goal from there. It was late in the last, so go and vote for Hatchie for her Goal of the Year nomination.
Keep an eye on our socials. We'll put the link up for that one.
Indeed, we will. And speaking of our socials, we'll head over to some listener feedback.
Now, real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to Maddie Clark 50th birthday, coach of AFL Women's and also a ruck coach as well.
Indeed. Happy birthday.
Yep, he's going more and more grey every day trying to teach Rob how to tap. But sorry. If we head over to the platform formerly known as Twitter, we only had a couple of replies to our win post. We had a friend of the pod and Patreon, Shamari Davies at Ugly AFL said, hard to go past Daniel Ponta for best on ground. Couldn't agree more there, mate. Like, who else would you have for BOG? I mean, Hatchie, clearly.
Hatchie and Noffy were both good, but yeah, Ponta's probably the one, really.
We've got to share it around. We had Ballard as well.
I'd go Noff.
Yeah. But we also had Ballard, was it?
Yeah.
2 goals in 4 minutes. Just piling.
Turned it on. Randall was good. She was a bit of everywhere.
Seems to be the interview effect.
It is. I thought Eloise was very good in a completely unbiased opinion.
Yeah. Sort of everything, you know.
Just all played well.
Yeah. We've also got Gweezmo at Tweet, who's there, who's had 4 vaccinations. I think DP, but it was a very broad whole team performance. Lots of very good roles played by many. Absolute. Could not agree more, mate. Could not agree more. Lucky.
Now, Instagram, I'm just going through the comments. There's only one comment, and it is from Jess Waterhouse herself, who wrote Go Crom.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
See, she cracks me up.
She's a TikTok vlogger these days.
I know. She does a phenomenal job with it too. So get around that.
Very invested in the dog's life.
I know. And all the workouts as well.
Yeah.
And even rocking the Go Crom plush oversized hoodie.
Yep.
Well. That is not a flag. Anything on Facebook?
We had one from Nathan Manning, who is a top fan, who said, tough one, but maybe Hatchard, Ponta, Kelly for his top 3 best on ground. Neve Kelly, not as good as she has been the first 2 weeks, but still had a very good game nonetheless.
Oh, just on the AFLW team while I remember it. The club put out that video where they had to answer the question before they ran on for training.
I haven't watched this one yet, but tell me more about it.
Right, so it's the last person you texted.
Huh?
And a lot of them wrote, my partner, I'll just say, sorry, they didn't write it, they said it. My partner, someone said my sister, my cousin. Kiera Mueller goes, you know how you get the Telstra messages? She apparently texts them back. And she says, oh, geez, I don't know. She goes, yeah, I don't know. You know, my phone's pretty full. You know how you get those Telstra messages? And Chelsea Randall walks past and goes, you text them back?
It's a great conversation. The automatic reply text stops. I don't want to stop.
You know.
Hello, how's your day going?
Speaking of texting back, I remember putting a meme up back at end of 2019. You know how Cromania sends out their messages?
Yeah.
And I did one that said, 10% off, blah, blah, blah. And I just wrote back, give me 20% off if you reply Go Crom. And it was clearly fake. And it said, ha, Go Crom, XOXO Lachie. Like, from Murph. There were people writing in our messages, and this is from 4 years ago. You can probably find them on our page. People just like, Lachie Murphy would have never done that. He doesn't even control the SMSs. I'm like, fucking
really?
Like, no shit. We're going through an internal review. Our coaches just quit. You give a shit about like who's writing the SMSs. I couldn't care less. I'm holding on to anything, people. Oh god. Okay. So
let Murph message who Murph wants to message.
You can reach a charger. Anyway, Ben.
Yeah, so moving on, we had a preliminary final that we played yesterday against Sturt and their 3 pink extra players on the field.
Oh, my goodness.
We went down by 17 points in the end, but we just never really felt in the game, to be honest. What was the final score, Pete?
Adelaide 6-7-43 defeated by Sturt plus 3 players 8-12-60.
Matthew Wright's 300th appearance in the AFL and SANFL. Congratulations to him. Potential talks that it may have been his final game as well. I heard on the coverage.
Yeah, they were writing him off. Yep. When they kept saying, "We trust you're enjoying our coverage," I'm like, "No, not really.
I'm really not." Yes, I really love the camera work, which focuses on one player for 20 seconds after they've disposed of the ball, Channel 7, and Tim Ginniver's attempt at humour, which was not particularly great.
you know, in the segment street, which is coming after the pod, I'm gonna let rip about Timmy G.
Oof. So head over to patreon.com/Crowject to hear about that. So we went down by 17 points. Matty Wright kicked 3, 1 for every 100 games that he has played, as Tim Ginniver told us on multiple occasions.
Oh, Jesus.
Gollant kicked 2, missed probably about 4. Parnell kicked a goal, missed
Got it
one late as
reported
well.
too, goal.
He did, which is
Interesting.
Yeah, but just a real, just never felt in it. We didn't kick a goal in the first quarter.
They're in London. Like, I reckon a few of them said, we've got flights at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. We don't have time for another week of training.
I'm not playing a grand final next week. I'll be elsewhere. The beach is calling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're just, as soon as, I felt personally, as soon as we lost that Swans game, the whole mood just got sucked right out. Like, it just, yeah.
Look, you make a good point, because that's, and just an insight into what happens in podcast land. It's not very. It's just the real world. But I can say hand on heart, all of us have been pretty deflated since that point.
Yeah.
And not just
actually probably the angriest I've been at a Crows result, because the grand final was more sadness.
Well, I remember you on the walk and talk afterwards with the Crows fan who walked by saying another choke by the Crows.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Fuck it. I don't know why. It was just a beautiful response, because you were a bit inebriated. But it was but it was pertinent. It was pertinent. But I can say since that point, and it's not disrespectful towards AFL Women's whatsoever, because I love that league and I love our team and our dynasty too, and I forgot to wear the fucking top tonight. Anyway, like that. But at the same time, I can say it's just drained us. Like, I'm knackered.
Yeah, it sucked the mood right out.
It sucked the mood right out. And
like the fact that we could have been preparing for a big final in Melbourne, even though we might have lost that game, I don't think we would have, but that's another thing.
We had the Crowject bongo bus ready to go.
Exactly.
The Kia Carnival.
And
shout out to Avis.
It just could have lifted us.
Yeah.
And it just sucked the mood right out.
And we would have humped Carlton that Friday night.
Oh, they played shit.
Okay.
Anyway, back to another set of Blues, Sturt. So I just want to go back to the free kick count. And let's not say that this cost us the game, but, we got dominated around the middle. But we had 29 free kicks to 14. And I think at one stage it was like 25-9 or something like that.
27-11 I read as well.
Yeah.
At one stage. So,
and there were just so many soft ones that got
when
paid against us.
When can we leave the comp? Like, when can we go?
When is this reserves comp coming in?
Well, why can't we just go to the VFL? Like, Gold Coast, good on them. They made the grand final in the VFL. Tough one tough one to explain to my popper. And I was like, Gold Coast made the Victorian Football League grand final.
Oh, God.
And he's like, why are they in there? And I'm like, your guess is as good as mine.
Are there boomers on the VFL Facebook page saying no AFL in the VFL?
I don't know, but
no AFL expansion team in the VFL.
I'm going to start it, actually. I'm going to jump on that later.
I didn't go yesterday, but I went to the first 2 weeks of the finals.
That's all you need, because we never win the third one.
And I was like, anyway.
We're not allowed to win the third final.
Yeah, no, we're not. It got to the Sturt fight. The first week we played Sturt, we're walking out and some guy's turning around going to all of us, oh, who did you go for before the Crows came into the comp? And I'm like, you probably go for the Crows. You probably go for the Crows every other weekend. I think people need to get this through their head. We do not support a lot of people. I'm not going to speak for everyone, but a lot of Crows fans do not support the Crows in the SANFL. They have their own club.
Yeah.
But when you know where all of the players play and you don't know a lot of, like, I support West Adelaide. I couldn't name 5 players on their team.
Yeah.
But I can go to the Crows game and know exactly where everyone plays. I know exactly what their strengths are.
There's more investment.
Of course I know where they are. Of course I want them to win. So if the West Adelaide aren't playing, of course I'm going to go for the Crows.
Yeah.
I feel like people need to get their head around that.
They just need to build a bridge.
And the no AFL and the SANFL crew need to realise that as soon as we have an AFL reserves comp and Port and the Crows leaves, your league is dead.
See you later.
Respectfully, like, there's no money left in it.
Especially when the COVID season happened. They would have been in the bin.
And it's interesting talking. I remember speaking with John Olsen. I won't say off the record, but it was a private conversation. where he talked about his vehemency against people being against the Crows being in the SANFL, because the only reason that the whole league is propped up is because of the Adelaide Crows. If you think about buying back the license and everything else like that, being able to sell West Lakes. That didn't happen. They'd be bailed out somehow, but it would be, they wouldn't have any media rights. So shut up. Right?
Yeah.
You probably know.
Moral of the story, shut up.
Moral shut up. But, right into us. PO Box 97, Hope Valley, SA 5090. Speaking of other ways,
Sam's mail.
we should do that. Time for Pete's sack. Anyway, so if you go over to our patreon.com/Crowject, you can get yourself all sorts of stuff, can't you, Ben?
You can get your hands on. Did you just plug the Patreon? You did.
I did. Get your crow on.
Get your crow on, the obscure crow, of which
Yes.
some more are coming soon over the off season.
betcha.
We'll fill your eardrums with plenty of episodes. A recent episode of Get Your Crow On, as we mentioned here, with Andrew and Rob Lee about the new cards that they produced, some absolutely incredible Guernseys that they brought.
Yeah.
Get yourself a bit of everything, really. Our spicy pre-rolls, where you can hear us talk about our experience at the semi-final from Saturday night.
Yep. And there's a whole bunch more. We talk about a little bit of marmalade chat as well. We're going to be going around the grounds, talking about the vibes of the grounds, which we've already gone through, but even leaving as well. Beryl and Cecil of the week. Ben, you got something for that?
I should do, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And also, we will not be talking about SANFL results in depth because we've already done it.
And we don't want to talk about it anymore.
No. It's
Had
all-
enough.
We've had enough. So even after the game that's coming up this weekend, just in time for the Macca's breakfast, you can give us a call with leave your thoughts on 82465498 as well. And go and get your GoCrom merch as well. You can get yourself the GoCrom beanie, air freshener, hat, and not the Yes We Can. You can get a flag. Yeah, you can. You can. You cannot get an iPhone, and you cannot get a Chuppa Chup.
Unless we're feeling good and we chuck one in the bag.
Yeah, that's true. I've done that a few times, actually. More because I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. Anyway,
Get rid of them.
yeah, pretty much. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're back. Benny Mac.
Indeed. So we're heading into round 4 of the AFLW. We are going to take on the Giants. And, I'm not wearing this Guernsey to support the Giants AFL women's team, but we're heading to Canberra at 10:35 a.m. on Saturday morning for a game as a typical AFLW kind of scheduled game.
Who is in charge of the AFLW fixture? Firstly, we've got 5:30, 6 o'clock games on a Friday, and I was watching the Richmond game, and Dad walked in and goes, "Is this live?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, so they could come after school, sort of thing." Like
It's
10:30. I mean,
This
come
is.
on.
I think that this is becoming one of the final insults.
Oh, this is
Like
just
not
bullshit.
not saying it's the end of the league or anything else like that, but you have a commissioner who doesn't do a thing. You don't do anything.
She is cryogenically frozen for 11 months of the
It's
year.
that Han Solo, hands up,
Apparently-
Empire Strikes Back, into the freezer you go.
Apparently, the reason for it is so that they can fit it around the men's finals. If that is the case, don't play the season during the men's finals.
No,
Play it on Sunday.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Here's the thing that pisses me off.
Foxtel's got enough channels.
Yeah. I do not understand why it's not treated as just a separate league. Why are we catering around the men's league? Why can't we have more, I don't know, Thursday night games?
No, I'd love to watch a replay of the bloody cricket game that happened 28 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
wow.
I mean, mind you, the fact during the Ashes, it was actually pretty cool.
It
They
was
showed
cool.
it. Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah.
I was there in 06 at Adelaide. It was great.
Amazing
Don't remember
Adelaide.
much, but but all I can say is we need to start treating this league as a separate league.
Just
In the most positive way possible. It's not saying for it to die or anything. It's like the complete opposite. I want it to be treated with the reverence that it needs.
Stand on its own 2 feet. Like,
Exactly.
Just because we're like as the Crows, just because we're under the same umbrella as the club doesn't mean we need to be fully associated with the men's side. Like we've got
exactly.
our own employees, we've got our own team. Like,
Yeah.
if that was the case, why doesn't Nixie coach the AFLW team? Like,
God, what
Yeah.
would he say?
where's Rob?
I actually don't know. That's actually interesting.
But like
Grab stuff, pack your bags, get out the door.
but like I can see
Get out.
I can see the point behind it. So like if you're say a Giants fan and you're prepping for a preliminary final against Collingwood, you're probably going to go for that rather than a women's game, so to keep it open. But at the same time, you're not travelling to Monica and then to the MCG later in the day.
Yeah, and like I saw one that
Exactly.
there's a game, and they had it last year as well. They're playing a game on grand final morning.
Oh, for fuck's
Yeah, the Collingwood Essendon.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, it's Collingwood
Oh, yeah,
Essendon.
because heaps of people are going to stop over on their way to the AFL. I'm like, come on.
I remember going through this when the fixture came out, and it's like at 10.
Yeah, it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
But what if you want to go to the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast?
What if you want to go to the longest kick?
Yeah, I know. What if you want to go and see Marmalade boot at 30 metres and have a chalky milk and then boot their pants into Yarra River? Like,
You
come
can't
on.
do it.
You can't do it.
Like, and I know you a few years, like this is going back a little bit and not completely related, but with Tim Gossage a few years ago when
that's
he was
great,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we're going to steer
right.
some people away from the F1 on their way to the F1. It's like, I don't think the AFLW target audience is a bunch of rev heads.
No.
No.
If you care about Oscar Piastri that much,
Then,
you're not going to.
yeah.
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 It's
Like,
not-
I mean, come on.
or Leclerc. God, I miss the old Formula One. I want more crashes.
Could you imagine?
I want Senna driving into Prost like the good old days. None of this fucking, oh, DRS. Oh, virtual safety. Checkered flag. Like, they're boring.
Could you imagine the uproar if the Crows were scheduled at 10:30 on a Saturday morning?
Whoa.
Like the men's side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what did we have
Like,
last year in
we-
Ballarat? It was like 11:30 or something like that. We had a
What?
game very early in the
Just
morning.
this season.
Not
just
this
gone.
season, the season before, I think, with the Ford Rangers on the
Yeah,
hill.
the Ford Rangers on the hill.
the Saturday morning. During the Olympics. Was it?
Yeah.
That's right.
When no one was there besides the guys in their Ford Rangers.
Is that, wasn't it me saying, is that horn coming from? Oh, no, wait, it's just a horn of the ground. Okay.
And I was like, imagine trying to tell our fans, yeah, guys, we're scheduled 10:30 on Saturday morning. Hope to see 50,000 of you there.
I mean, look, I can only speak from what happens with college football. There's a lot of 11 a.m. games, which is, I've been to some of those games over there. It is a strange vibe because there's no tailgating, but there's people trying to tailgate.
Yeah,
it's
you'd
just
be like the
fucking
vibe.
hammered.
You're like, it's 11 a.m. I can't go too hard,
Yeah.
but if I don't go hard enough, I'm gonna miss the
Yeah.
game. Like, it's just
And
bad.
it's
12:40 on a Sunday is bad enough.
yeah,
Let
12
alone-
hours. It's just strange.
That's 11:10 in Perth. That's why their teams never get 12:40 games at home, by the way.
Well, we need to talk about West Coast playing their game against Gold Coast at what would have been 8 a.m. for their body clocks.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
And guess what? They lost.
No, they lost
Who
by
knew?
like 12 goals. Wow.
And that's because we're not giving this league the respect that it needs.
Exactly.
It just
Anyway,
okay.
so we head into the Giants, who have not won a game as of yet. They've lost to Richmond by 20, Melbourne by 77, and Sydney by 5. And Sydney are one of the worst teams in the comp. So that,
right. And that was Sydney's first win.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, ever. They didn't win a
Yeah.
game in their first season.
Yeah. So, look, our opponent this week is not particularly strong. So
We should be 4-0.
I
in
feel
theory.
like we should be 4-0. We should gain a bit of percent.
know-
Nothing in comparison to North Melbourne's percent, which I don't know if it's still as high as it was last week. But they were
They
at
are
540 or something like that last
They're,
week.
they're down about
Yeah,
350.
I'll confirm it for you, Ben. I know where it's at.
Yeah, 347 they're at.
340. Yeah, I did see North Melbourne closer to a flag, trying to give a shtick
They
to
are
us.
so fucking funny, that page.
And I was just like, "Well, show us your premierships."
Yeah, we've got
no,
three.
no reply. Who knew?
Actually, it's funny. I was thinking about that at Unley on Saturday. I was like, since Essendon have last won a final, the Women's League has come in and we've won 3 premierships.
It's amazing.
It's great.
Great.
Love to see it. So coming into this week, we've got Stevie Lee Thompson. We don't know whether she will be playing or not.
We have to wait for a scan.
Yeah, a scan.
which may or
Like
may
every
not.
other sporting injury.
Incredibly. Like, this is exclusive
Fuck me.
news. So, yeah, but Stevie Lee obviously may or may not play. To be perfectly honest, I would be happy to give her a rest if she's under any sort of injury cloud.
Yeah. We've got the depth.
Not to disrespect GWS in the slightest way possible, but I feel like we should be winning it pretty easily.
Yeah, Did we play them? Yes, we did play them last year.
Yeah, in Canberra as well, actually, I think.
No, it was at home. Because it was the day after the AFL Grand Final. And they didn't... Did they kick one goal, maybe? Because I remember we had a two...
Was that against Kangaroos? I vaguely recollect this.
Nah, that was... North was... I don't remember playing North. I remember we played the Giants and they kicked one goal or something. And we kicked about 15.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it the biggest margin?
Yeah, because we went through a 2-week period where GW's kicked one goal against us and then Port
That's
didn't
right.
kick a goal against us.
Correct,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
in Sydney, so they kicked
Oh, was
0 goals 5 to our 5 goals 15. And it was at 2:40 p.m. on a Saturday, so not that bad, but I remember the game you're talking about.
Yeah. So we were on fire for a while there.
See, all I remember as well from last season was the November 12 game after the thunderstorm. I only say that because that's my birthday. Shout out to me. But at the same time, because I was in the US and getting messages from my family saying, "Oh my God, like Noah's Ark's coming," and then I'm trying to get AFL women's updates. I'm just like it was like Friday night. We won. that
Maybe
one.
we're catering to an American audience.
No, not really. But
So,
apologies.
anyway, predictions on this one. What do we think, Pete? Who have you got? And most goals, best on ground.
Now,
It works.
we're going to hump. This is going to be like, you know, when Ollie Wines talked about Oppenheimer, like this is what he means.
I love it when Port Adelaide
Okay.
talk.
Oh, they're just...
Who knew? 2 bombs and it's all over. So, oh, that's the title of the pod. 2 bombs and it's all over. I'll write that down later. Okay. I'm going to say it's going to be the Crows by 70. 7-0. Okay?
Yep.
Leading goal kicker. I'm going to say Neve Kelly.
Ooh.
With 4.
Out of left field.
That's me.
No, I feel it. Who you got, Lachie?
Crom by 48. I'm going to go with Ponce, most goals with 4.
Mhm.
And BOG, Noffy. She will tear up on the small ground.
Yep. Fair call, fair call. I'm
I'm going to go with Noffy as well.
Noffy.
BOG.
Easy peasy. I'm in a similar boat to Pete in terms of margin. I'm saying the Crows by 86.
Whoa!
Melbourne a couple of weeks ago beat GWS by 77 points. I see us at a similar sort of level. I think we just get it done. We roll through. Caitlin Gould to kick 4. And yeah, you got to stick with the Queen, Noffy, don't you really? You just can't go past her.
Monica Oval is literally midget. So
She's just going to do what she does.
Now, is it because was it Noffy who had the was it Bird, the player that ran into her
Yes.
stomach while Noffy just stood there, and then Noffy got 3 matches?
Yep.
So that's why Noffy's just gonna
Revenge game.
Revenge game,
Even though she got off.
yeah,
Yeah.
even though she got off it. Nothing happened. Okay,
just on AFLW while we're here,
yeah, buddy.
I probably could have said this in Around the Grounds, but I don't think we have AFLW Around the Grounds. Port won yesterday
Against St Kilda.
and against the Saints. Erin Phillips kicked her first goal for Port. I was like, has she not kicked one already? I was stunned.
When that came up, I literally
I was like,
laughed.
They must have mean the first goal for like this season. But then they went, her first ever Port goal. And I'm like, what? What's she been doing?
Not a great deal.
I still remember before that first showdown there was some wharfie that messaged our page who then blocked our page immediately after the showdown.
When you
saying-
don't kick a goal, there's not a lot to back yourself up on.
But they said Erin Phillips is going to kick 7 goals against
7.
them. 7. That much. I think
it took them like 4 weeks to kick 7 goals.
Exactly.
Have they kicked
bloody
7
goal.
altogether yet?
I don't think so. It's probably gotten there. But I just remember that and I was like, no. And let's be all clear. I think we're all on the same page. Respect to Erin Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
Pioneer. Fantastic. We all thought when she was leaving, it was going to happen. Always. She's up there. Shout out to you.
Yeah, she's not in camera shot, but she's...
Yeah, but we'll get to that photo later. But the fact that Port took so long to get into the league just shows their disdain that they have for it. It's not tokenism.
They're just there just because I feel like they're there because they almost at this stage have to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Obligation.
Yeah.
And nothing like
it's
a team
not
that
just
you're obligated to have. Oh.
Anyway, so consensus is we're winning and we're winning by a lot this weekend. So prepare yourself, GWS.
And shout out to Georgie as well, who wrote into us, said, why does the AFL hate women? 10:35 a.m. start for Lady Crom this weekend as well. And so I just want to address that one for Georgie too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, on to the news. And we start off with, we talked about it a little bit last week, but McAdam has officially requested a trade now. So it's not just the forward will explore his options. It's he has requested a trade.
Oh, according to Rucci, he's quit.
Done. Out.
I could not believe that. And then 10 minutes later, they went, oh, yeah, Liam Henry's going to request a trade. It's like, you can't have both. Pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, completely different. So obviously Melbourne very keen on him and seeing how they kicked on Friday night against Carlton. They need some forwards who can kick some goals.
Well, I didn't think he'd get a game for them. And then on the weekend, I'm like, he's going to bloody walk in.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking the same sort of thing. And then all the second half of the game, all the commentators were like, where is Melbourne's forward line? I'm like, well, fuck, maybe they do need him.
Well, nothing like recruiting a ruckman who just decides to sit out finals.
Yeah. Just take a bit of a break.
Why did Goodwin play Shaki as the sub and not put him on? It is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
In fairness, it's Josh Shaki, but
He probably,
True.
Goody. Allegedly. Anyway.
McAdam requests a trade. We'll probably end up at Melbourne. Don't know what we're going to get for him. I think there were some talks of Adam Tomlinson, but that's probably been shut down a little bit.
Yeah, so Tomlinson re-signed today, which
that's very much
I
been
think
shut down then.
opens the door for Petty. Because let me just get the tweet up from Cow Toomey.
Yes, we're talking about Harrison Petty. Is he an SA boy?
He
I
is.
think. Yep. So he would be a small,
Premiership defender.
small to medium sized defender, handy. Probably don't have an abundance of them, and our defence at the moment is very thin with all of our injuries, so can't hurt.
Okay, so Callum Toomey tweeted today at 12:17. Despite long being seen as a potential member of the key defender carousel and having interest from rivals, Melbourne has told Adam Tomlinson he's a required player for next season and he will be staying at the Demons, has a year to go on his contract. So if you are trying to effectively put in the work for someone that's not even out of contract yet, who's not like one of their superstars, that says to me you're worried about someone else leaving. And they played Petty forward this year, which is what a lot of Demons fans were saying today. Well, Tomlinson's a defender, Petty's a forward. I don't see him as a forward. I think he's a key defender. So I think Petty is firmly on our radar. Firmly.
Yeah. Get him in.
He'd walk into the team.
Get him into the nest.
Because the way I see it, Murray won't be back until... Because when did he do the ACL? July?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, so
that's
what,
but
about,
I'll just
I'm
say
going to say at minimum the mid-season bye. At minimum.
I'd say at minimum he'd be back around 4-5.
Really?
Yep. If there's last surgery or anything else like that. Rehab for ACLs is variable.
Okay.
At a minimum.
Yeah.
At a max, he could be out for the whole season.
Okay.
So sorry to inflate your balloon and just go like that.
All right. Well, let's just say roughly he's out, even for the first 6 weeks or whatever.
Let's split the difference. Mid-season bye.
Yep. Okay. We'll go there. So he's out to the mid-season bye. Butt's hurt a foot, but he should be back, shouldn't he?
Yep.
What? Something along those lines.
Pre or post haircut.
Nank with syndesmosis.
Nank's got the syndesmosis, so it's Keane and it's then Borlase. I don't think Borlase is probably someone you want to be relying on as your main.
Yeah, not relying on as your main.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Sort of someone as your depth. Keane, I think, is really good.
Keane's got potential.
Yeah, I quite like Keane.
Especially the way he came, because it was a showdown his first game as well. I mean,
gave Dixon a bath.
He gave himself a bath for the first quarter, and then he sort of built from there.
Yeah.
From memory. So
Yeah. And so I think Petty would, I think he'd be our best key defender as well. So
we're going to have lots of trade analysis, aren't we, Andy?
We are.
We're going to have some draft spotlight too.
We are. Marby Cho as well. Tom Morris tweeted just before I left the house to come here. that Marby or Chol is firmly on Adelaide's radar as well. So
Interesting. Of course, he kicked 5 in the VFL Grand Final on the weekend
He
as well,
did.
just to bump up his price a little bit.
he did. And GWS are apparently interested in Elliot Himmelberg. So the Dragon might depart.
Does he need a lift?
Yeah, well, I said if they beat Port and then take Elliot, then they are just rising on my
Second
list
club.
of favourite teams. I'll buy an Elliot Himmelberg Guernsey if that makes it.
If he moves club, would he change his nickname again?
Yeah, they'll have to give him something else.
Yeah, you can't stick with that.
Dad always used to call him Silos.
Silas.
Yeah, I don't know what from. I was hoping someone else knew, but I don't remember what from. I'll have to find out later.
Yeah, I think I know, but I don't want to speak
Anyway,
out of turn.
If you lose him, then I've got concerns over our ruck depth anyway, because Strawn is 28 at the beginning of October. So it's Rob at the moment, then it's Strawn, and then it's no one.
I think Thilthorpe's going to fill that role.
I actually think Thilthorpe's going to be our next ruckman because he started in the ruck against St Kilda this year. And to me, you don't start someone in the ruck unless you've got a long-term plan for it. You don't just go, you can start there today.
Yeah, and he's got the talent and the mobility to be able to
When Rob was
do it.
playing too that game.
Yeah.
So, that one I think is going to happen. But even still, because we went from, in about 2017, we had about 5 players in the ruck in our sample team because we had Deere, Loudon, O'Brien, Osborne. I don't know if Strawn was on the list back then. But
Wouldn't have been quite there yet, but Rob would have been in the 2s as well because we still had Jacobs.
Yeah, there was about 4 or 5 of them. And
Now we've got
there's
a
not
key
a lot.
defender.
So I think he'd be a good, he's almost a direct replacement for Himmelberg.
Yeah.
And I actually think Thilthorpe plays better when there's pressure on him. And if there's someone, that's when I think Thilthorpe's at his best. So he's one that I think we should target as well. And the other one who I think is playing one of the all-time games of poker if he leaves is Tom Duday. Like, my God, if he goes, then he's just played – he's just like the amount of times he tweets Go Crows, puts videos of himself in the gym in his Crows gear at the moment still.
So here's what I think of the Duday situation.
Yeah, so I want some more thoughts on this.
Okay, it's just when they put up that crypto.com video, I don't think that was just to appease a contract negotiation. I actually think something's been inked, but they haven't released it publicly.
Well, so you think he's signed?
Yeah. Just because there was no reason whatsoever that you would do that video.
It was such a random time. It was like a random Sunday, like mid-morning.
Yeah. Now,
and we weren't even playing that day, were we?
I think our season was done.
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
season was done.
Pre-finals bye weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
But conversely, it did also make me think crypto.com don't have a lot of money. They're probably, the Crows are just doing this video to meet some contractual obligation with crypto.com so they get an extra payment. So they've just put this video out just to get it over with. And Tom Duday's gone. See, I've thrown you. See, you can choose your adventure.
My thing, I think he's going to sign on a 2-year deal.
Yeah. I hope so too.
And then if he goes after that, then good luck to him.
Yeah.
But he hasn't played, I don't know if this is correct, but it's pretty close. I don't think he's played a full year since he's been on our list. Because even before he
don't think so.
debuted, he was
That's
injured
true.
all the time.
Because he
Well, he
got
did an
injured
ACL
round
in-
one.
Yeah, a few years
2019.
ago. He
Yep.
has had concussion. He had the shoulder a few years
That's
ago.
right. Yep.
We went to America to get that fixed up too.
That's right. Yep.
Convenient.
He went to America. The sportsman guy loves
Happened
NFL,
to land
NBA.
at the Pats game, huh?
Damn. Oh, how was that? Met Tom Brady.
Must have been nice.
Yeah.
He's had foot problems. So, yeah, I don't actually.
Don't we all?
Well,
Yeah, I think
Tom, this is just middle-aged living now.
I think probably 2021 was probably the closest he had been, but
Yeah.
even then, I think he
He
did his
did,
ACL in
yeah.
21 as well,
Yeah,
didn't he? Late,
Correct.
Something like that,
Yeah.
late or early?
2021.
There's been one season where
he's-
he's played a big chunk.
Yeah, I reckon it was 2021. No, but then he got concussed a few times.
Yeah, true.
He got
that's true.
knocked out against the Bombers which we will not
That's
talk
right.
about that game because it's
Okay.
the lowest score ever, but that's okay.
That was my birthday present.
Oh, God. We need to stop playing Essendon on your birthday.
We do.
Specifically at Marvel Stadium.
That's right.
If I
Let's
see
do
that
the
on the
live
fixture
and
next year, I'm just going to be like, I don't care if Essendon
Yeah,
are
I'm not
bad. If
watching.
we're good, I'm not watching that game.
So there's a few things that we're going to be going through as well. We're going to deep dive on this Port loss as well. Cathartic, beautiful. There's so many things to talk about.
There's a big sound coming.
Now, at the end of this pod, you are going to hear something that I've downloaded. That's the 5AA callers. I've cut it up. Mhm. And also Ken Hinckley's maybe edited press conference.
That one, that stew from Harndorf.
The physically ill.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a part of this is going to sound weird. I don't know if he's a Crows fan. It wasn't
That
me.
stew bloke.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
I don't think he is a Crows fan.
Sorry, a Port fan. I don't think he's a Port fan. It just the way it came off, it just seemed because isn't the right in front of me guy? He's not even a
No,
Yeah,
he's
he's
not
an
a Crows
Essendon
fan.
fan.
He's
Yeah.
not a Crows fan.
Fucking Essendon again.
Yeah, fuck
The ball. Sucked in on the weekend. Clock that.
yeah. But anyway, so listen in at the end of the pod. Now, do we have a AFLW fantasy and tipping update as well?
We do. So I'll just run over a quick table of the league that we've got. We might go into it a bit more in depth in segment 3, but 10 goal Tommy, Dan Yench, Jason L, Dylan McLean are all sitting 3-0 in our league, top of the table. Elodie, Mitchell, Ethan, Hayden, Jade, myself, all 2-0-1. And then we're looking for Jeff Albertson sitting in 16th, Anthony Cream sitting in 17th. He's yet to win a game. Sophie yet to win a game. And Jesus, lift your game in fantasy. You're dead last on the table. Need to get yourself a win ASAP.
I would have thought if you're Jesus, you'd know what's going to happen.
Just bring in Noffy and Captain. I don't play the game, but I'm assuming that's probably a good start.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Your team set.
It's basically a set and forget for the whole year,
And
basically.
just let the place fillers go from there.
Basically. Over to the tipping. Jesus, well, he says, I'm not good at fantasy, but I'm good at tipping. Sits top of the table with 23 total tips in a tie with Jason Ling and Dan Yench. These three dominating just all of our leagues or everything. We have got myself in 8th with a total of 21, Sophie in 10th with a total of 20, Lachie, you're sitting 11th with a total of 17, Elodie in 13th with 16, and Jeff Albertson last with a total amount of tips of 9. He got 2 this most recent
I've
round.
got 6. Geelong, Hawthorn, and Collingwood. Let me down.
Indeed. So get your tips in for this week. Leighton, I don't know if you are putting your tips in to get 2.
He's just picking it.
Pretty impressive with a margin of 89 as well already, by the way. So he's been picking some results these first few weeks.
He's been doing something.
Anti-draw.
Anti-draw. He's been going every team by 100 plus in the first game of the week. So that was the tipping update. And Pete, we're going to throw to you for an SEC update. Go Hogs, etc. Except this week we might not be looking quite as good as you'd hope.
Holy guacamole. We lost to a bunch of Mormons in BYU 38-31 on a Saturday night in Razorback Stadium. And let me tell you, it's shit. And it sucks. But it's not as bad as a friend of the pod on Patreon, Casey's lovely Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh, yeah.
Just barely squeaking by against the USF Bulls. Ugh, Lordy, things are happening there. And you're a big fan of Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee, yeah.
Whatever the fuck that is.
I don't know why they're called that, but
They just like to volunteer.
they lost Florida, I think.
They sure did in the swamp as well. Even though Billy Napier is supposed to be on the hot seat for God knows how long.
Well,
Because for some reason Florida think that they're good. Get out.
they have nice colours. I'll give them that. That blue.
Blue and orange.
Like the
Right.
the vintage sort of gear.
Yeah, that's true.
nice.
That's true. So if we go to some of the other games that happened, don't get me started about that fucking Arkansas game. Number 14 LSU beat Mississippi State 41-14. Kansas State got beaten by Missouri with I think it was a 61-yard field goal as time expired. So Drinkwitz is getting it on with it. Spencer Rattler got absolutely rattled by Georgia 24-14, not really. But good luck to him winning the Heisman. Texas A&M 47-3 over ULM as well. Bob Petrino just starting his hog and cranking everything. Don't Google it. Florida beating Tennessee 29-16. Auburn getting up 45-13. And UNLV somehow beating Vanderbilt 40-37. What the fuck happened here? I don't care. Anyway, this week we play LSU. I can say hand on heart, despite the fact that they're Tigers and everything, they got a great song. They got great colours. Don't tell my brother-in-law that. Gamble responsibly. Take
All right. So
and the other thing to announce as well, I apologize.
Yeah, that's right.
Mariana Ratchich interview that is happening this Thursday with Ray. We'll put up some potential questions as well. So feel free to write into us if you have any questions for MJ. We're going to be asking all sorts of things, not just about her time playing as well, but also
Ground announcing.
ground announcing as well, and doing that with Big Sauce as well, who is our go-between between GWS and Adelaide. It all comes full circle.
Indeed. And just throwing it back to your gamble responsibly, LSU are paying $1.08. So you're going to need to put some big money down to make anything worthwhile there.
I can say, okay, what's the line?
17.5.
So the last time, so we've got the same offensive coordinators we did in 2015. The last time we played down Saturday night in Death Valley, we beat LSU and they were ranked. They were ranked number 8. Now, it is a different coach. They won a national championship in between, and Arkansas have done sweet fuck all since then.
Thanks, team.
Take the line.
So, as Pete said, gamble responsibly. And as we look to wrap up this evening, head over to patreon.com/Crowject to jump on Segment Street. We're about to go on the Around the Grounds of the AFL Finals and deep dive into the Big, Big Sound. We'll talk about the vibes at the ground in general. Beryl and Cecil of the week, AFLW Fantasyland a little bit more in depth. And of course, thank you to our Patreons. We'd just like to say thank you to our $10 and above list, which Pete will read shortly.
Yeah. And we'll just put some nice music over this one too. $10 and above list before my voice goes. We have Jenny McArdle, The Real Hill, Jordan Jesus Marnie, Greg Fleming, Jessica Cook, Dave Carnivale. I sound really FM.
You're on Big Brother here.
This is Sean Craig Murphy areas.
Top of 32 and traffic's backed up on Green Hill Road. Sorry. Dave Carnivale, Jake Abocco, Sophie Damon, Drew Corner, Sam Curtis, Sean Marie Davies. I feel like the Channel 9 announcer.
You literally sound like the old Big Brother.
Yeah.
From the
Channel 9 Wide World of Sports. Okay.
To the diary room.
Anthony Crean, to the diary room. Oh, fuck. I'm just fucking sick of this place. Just want my fate. Brendan McGarrigan, James Payne, Simone McDonald, Jezza Withers, Radicus_USM, Matt Roylance, and Neil Roylance. A big thank you for your amazing support, guys.
overseas crew.
Indeed, the English crew.
I know. I just want to say, Matt Rollins, your accent, it's so authoritarian. Like, it's just it's a nice accent. It's just a nice British accent. Just
It is.
nice.
It's a very nice accent.
Yeah, compared to us.
And if you'd like to hear it, head to patreon.com/Crowject and you can get added to our messenger group.
It is a time when you go in there. You just need to get, as I said, you need to get something off your chest. You go there. It doesn't have to be about football.
Get yourself a cup of tea.
You can
kick
talk
back.
about, I don't know, what you did with your day.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just go off. We're here to
And people will respond to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we do have a couple more questions from our amazing listeners, just very quickly, because we put the feelers out on Instagram just to ask what people's thoughts were. Now, real quick, we have here, where is it? Life of Cheek, Justin Chi Cummings, who says, friend of the pod and Patreon too. With both men's team season over, what list changes would you make and who do we target? So we've gone through some of that, Justin, but we are going to be doing some more in-depth stuff. I know Ray's going to be doing some of his draft spotlight as well, so that'll be coming soon. Now, I met these guys. I met Dominic from the TikTok Umpire. Met him after I got off the bus at Adelaide at Tea Tree Plaza Interchange. I was, shout out to you, Dom. Not a question, but rather a statement. Crows won more finals than Port this year. Brackets SANFL.
Yep. And we'll double it when we win an AFLW final.
Yeah. Ray has actually... No, I'll get to Millie first. Thoughts on Zach Butter's dummy spit during the game Saturday night?
Oh,
we're gonna get to that.
what a fucking child.
Have a fucking win, Zach. I mean, seriously.
It's just a chair. Now, mind you, the Fraser Gehrig footage that came up of him just literally piffing a chair out of the way. He was having a kick for goal in like 08, 09 or something. And like he just, mind you, he goes back, piffs the chair and then just nails the goal. And
Zach
to be honest,
Butters wasn't even, he didn't even really have a shot. He just sort of kicked it inside
but the other
50.
thing, look, if Fraser Gehrig asks you to do something, if he says, go jump.
I'm fucking jumping.
I'm jumping. Yeah, you don't know. You don't ask the question back. You just jump. Because you just, okay. Huh? Like, wasn't he in real estate? Like, I would just sign whatever contract he put in front of me. Like,
could just be like a $200,000 house. He's like, yeah, we're selling it for 2.8 today. I'll give it to you. Yeah, fuck it. All right,
and it's
Fraser,
a
where do I
cardboard
sign?
box.
Yeah.
Fucking deal with it.
And it just rained. And it's soggy and it's done.
Exactly. We already answered Georgie's question. And Ray O'Hara, friend of the pod and host, allegedly. Which pod member would you least trust to design you a tattoo?
Cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Cream.
Judging by the...
I don't know. He's got tats. So he would recognize the impact. I would not trust Elodie.
That was my second. Actually, myself, knowing my drawing skills.
Yeah. I'm a horrible drawer too.
Yeah.
Like, look at my handwriting. It's dyslexic hyena. So,
basically, if you're getting a tattoo, don't come to any of us. Yeah. Except for Ray, who already has a tattoo.
Which, my favorite part about his tattoo is the font.
Yeah.
It's like that typewriter.
Yeah.
Sort of ye olde. Anyway. All right.
So anyway, as we mentioned earlier, the AFLW Crom will take on the Giants Saturday morning. Set your alarms nice and early, 10:35 a.m.
Just set an
Adelaide
alarm
time.
to watch the Crows.
Get out to the couch, potentially put the heater. I don't know. It's going to be cold on Saturday, maybe. Who knows?
And something I want to announce. Next Monday night is Brownlow.
It is.
We're going to do a live stream from here.
We are.
Yeah, just thought about it just then. So we're going to do that from here. It is going to be the brown carpet special. I think the last time we did that was in 2019, and I got very drunk on it.
We did one last year at Elodie's place.
Oh, that's right, of course. But the TV was in the other room.
It was, so we had no idea what was going on. But it's all right.
And then Cream was there and just looking up Dapto dogs.
So with that, I'll come up with a spreadsheet of what I think will happen with the Brownlow, because it went so swimmingly and well last year and accurate, which I'll pop in the Patreon's chat. So if you want to follow a spreadsheet that doesn't go anywhere near any of the votes, head over to patreon.com/Crowject.
Don't get on Rory Laird, because for some reason the umpires don't give him votes.
No, they don't.
It's too short.
Indeed, they can't see him.
Yeah.
That desk went quickly.
The Fleander squeeze board. Now, also, if you are a Patreon and you've signed up at patreon.com/Crowject, head over and listen to the Abby Ballard interview, which Pete did a couple of weeks ago.
Right. Yep.
Obviously, we mentioned the Mariana Radchik interview coming soon with Ray. You can listen to your Obscure Crows, our spicy pre-rolls, get your crow on. Follow us on all our socials, Facebook, the platform formerly known as Twitter, as X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at Crowject. Thank you once more to our Patreons. Get your Crom merch, crowject.bigcartel.com, as modelled here. Not the Yes We Can, but Yes We Can 2 more years. Get around it. You can get the Crom Bloke air fresheners, which look like but aren't actually Crom Blokes, or is it? No, it's really not. Just an uncanny likeness.
Oh, wow. Look, it's Next Porker.
As well as them, you can get the new Dynasty jumpers and t-shirts from the AFLW, which the lovely Sophie has designed. Head over to Solly Designs and check out some more.
And I can say
that is the person I would trust with the tap, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the one that I trust the most. But she would make it somehow so wholesome and nice that I'd want to show it off. My body isn't great. So,
but I'd want to if I had a Solly Designs tattoo on it.
That's a beautiful design, but oh my God, what's the rest of it? Anyway, sorry.
So that's about it. Head over to Patreon, as we've said. Sign up for as little as $1 a month to access everything we've just mentioned, including back catalogues. So plenty of old episodes to go back through. If you wanted to hear the pre-roll from episode number 212, head back and you can go and do it. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about that day, but probably something entertaining. So thank you all once again for listening. Pete, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Lachie.
Thank you, and good luck to Glenelg and Sturt and Granny this week.
Indeed, indeed. Neither of you are an AFL club, so you can't get shafted too badly.
And hang around to listen to some absolute notes. Go Crom.
Go Crom.
AA football. Post-match callers.
This guy, old Teflon, keeps getting re-signed by our board. He must have pictures of somebody doing something strange because no other club would have kept him this long. I don't care what anybody says. They wouldn't keep him.
I could not see Port Adelaide winning a premiership. And please, Port Adelaide supporters, don't blame Ken Hinkley.
Let's get to Daniel from Ross Trevor. Hi, Daniel.
Oh, good evening, fellas. A bit disappointing that Port have lost to Brisbane twice within 24 hours. But if you have a look at Port Adelaide's score, 11 goals 9 equals 119.
I think you're going back to 2007 there, Daniel.
It's a long bow, Daniel.
You waited a long while for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what Ken Hinkley's trying to do with... You've got to bet on Brandon Laminas for Ollie Wines. He's never going to be a wingman. It's also like asking Grundy to be a full forward. He looks lost out there. Put him in the gut so he can actually get the hard ball. Jed McAtee, I reckon Malcolm Blight knows what he's talking about. He doesn't believe there's such thing as a forward that puts pressure because he doesn't do anything with his... He doesn't kick goals. He doesn't do strong tackles like... I'd give me Francis Evans or even a Fantasia will give you a chance to kick a goal. Like selection tonight, Xavier Dursman looks slow tonight. I don't want to be critical, but I am being critical because at the end of the day, Ollie Wines won his Brownlow in the gut and he's playing on the wing like...
Port promised Oppenheimer. They supplied Barbie. And the ironic thing is Ken is a major part of Barbie, is he not?
Jeez. You do stupid things like Oppenheimer. What do you expect when half the players apparently haven't watched it? God, I was baffled at that.
Josh.
Hello.
Sorry, Josh, I got your name wrong.
Hi. I'm very disappointed. You know, the goal kicking in the first half. You know, look, they just look slow out there today. I'm absolutely gutted.
Understandably, buddy. But we get to go again next week.
1 week later.
Well, GWS, you have to give them full credit. They were outstanding tonight.
I don't understand why. Why did we go early with re-signing our coach? I know that this is something that maybe you can talk about right now, but why the hell did we sign him before the season was over?
I can't answer that because I think everyone knows where I stood.
I wanted to see him go, but they kept on signing him, and that's fine. But, you know, like you said, Treaders, there is a Port Adelaide creed. You know, we're there to win finals, premierships, you know, and we know it's hard. But 11 years there, I just want you and Timmy, just give me a yes or no answer. In his tenure there in 11 years, has Hinkley's era been a successful one at Port Adelaide? I mean, yes or no?
Oh, it's a no, John. No. It's a no.
Exactly.
Ken centred the season launch here at Adelaide Oval, the best list I've had.
See, the same downhill skiers that we've seen for the last 6 or 7 years do the same things, come finals, go missing every freaking time. And you go like, really? And we see nothing different. You know, like, this guy, old Teflon, keeps getting re-signed by our board. He must have pictures of somebody doing something strange because
No other club would have kept him this long. I don't care what anybody says. They wouldn't keep him. But what do? We keep signing because he's coaching the best of his ability. You think, are these people kidding me? Like, they must watch different games to me because I can't see him coach one. He got totally out-coached by a first-year coach. Totally out-coached. Fair enough. GWS is a good side. Let's not kid ourselves. They are a good side. But you know what? We got smashed. We were lucky to be in that game at halftime. And you go, you got blokes in our side that people rave about, and you go, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Like Connor Rosie tonight, the amount of times he was brushed aside in tackles, for a guy of his ability, that is ordinary. It's that ordinary. And you go like, really? The guy's a good player. I've got no problem with that. But the thing about it is, when it's your turn to put your body on the line, you do it. But the amount of times tonight you put one-handed tackles, you think, mate, sorry, that's not good enough in finals. You get away with that in junior football, but at this level, sorry, that's not acceptable. We were smashed tonight.
And Koshi, the decision to sign Ken in August is probably the worst decision in the club's history. Signing a coach just before finals who has the record that Ken does, mate, you don't even have to be half smart to figure that out.
Well, seriously, some people can't think it out, can they? Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I share the same frustration. Yeah, I'm baffled by the decision-making.
One team was hard as nails. The other team was soft as butter. Another home final we've lost. It's unbelievable. Like, honestly, I was there at the Bulldogs game a couple of years ago in the prelim, and that was disgusting as well. Ken Hinckley's been out-coached again where it matters, and it's not good enough. And I'm fed up. A lot of other supporters are fed up. I don't understand why the board doesn't listen to the supporters, because it's been 11 years of disappointment.
Yeah, guys, I think this result was done when David Koch made the decision in August to appoint Ken Hinckley. Jack Carl won 11 grand finals. He didn't have favourites. He picked the team that he knew would win a game. Ken Hinckley, mate, we will go nowhere until he is gone and they get someone that can give us strength and listen to the Foss Williams creed. We do not give up.
Koshi's kicked in a home goal here, fellas. He came out at the start of the season. There he is with his corporate language. We won't make a decision about Kenny's job until August. Well, thanks, Koshi. Guess what? He's actually been there 10 years and he actually hasn't delivered the team to play their best their best football at the biggest moments.
Hinckley stays, Koshi goes.
Ken, I think it was 2 or 3 losing premierships. Ken's doing what he generally does at this time of the year. So maybe it's time to consider, regardless of there being an extension or renewal, maybe it's time to consider whether we fall on our sword and do the honourable thing and realise that maybe we haven't brought to this great club what is needed beyond what we were able to contribute to our old club. And instead of maligning greats like Trav and seeing them out of the club, maybe we should think about our own position and just think about that honourably.
Ken, I think the time's up. Signing in August before the finals, what were we thinking? Should have been one more year, and if you win in finals, then double whatever they're offering him, because time's up. There's chaos forward line with just absolutely no organisation. We got all these scoring shots, but none of them are actual clear-cut scoring shots. Time's up. Time's up, boys.
Board had the perfect opportunity to say, hey, let's just sit and wait. And then you make a call. And if even after this game they decide to go ahead, there's reasons why board members are there and presidents are there and CEOs are there is to run the footy club. So the fact that it was done when it was done just didn't make sense. It just took you effectively held all the cards and gave away the aces. Baffles me.
This is 5AA football.
How did that unfold and what could you do or not do?
Oh, I think it was really we learned some really valuable lessons from the last, the 2 weeks of the finals that we in. We weren't good enough to be able to cope with it. So that's for our young mids because they've been a lot through this year about how much they've had, but it's also, and it wasn't just in one spot, it was right across the team. And then once you lose some it can be a real challenge to chase it back up. And I think we've all seen and watched, the last couple of weeks, we've seen the best form get through to the last four. No, I don't think that was the case. I think they got their hands on the they just weren't clean enough when they got their hands on the in my view. I thought they reached and they a little bit too much. They've been able to get in and out of quite quickly as a group. Tonight they weren't able to or be clean enough with when they took that. And to the Giants' credit, they were putting them under physical pressure, and then the got cocked up, and I felt like the fell the Giants' side of the contest, and they were there ready to go.